Welcome to episode 53 of the Tailgate Update podcast on YouTube. I'm Ryan Besaw alongside Julie Miller and our guest this week, Devyn Dowling, back again. It's been a while, Dev. It's been a while.
Glad to be back. Awesome. I'm doing great. Yeah, this is, I don't know if many of you out there know, but I've recently been on a hiatus from the Kick Out Crew podcast. So this is my first podcast back into the podcasting world. So I'm glad to be back with you guys.
Well, we're very happy to have you. So thank you.
You got a couple pairs of shoes to fill tonight with Jay and Caleb off for the next month or so. So, first things first, we can review the Dodgers take home their 8th World Series ring in 2024, winning the World Series 4-1 over the New York Yankees in a very underwhelming World Series for a couple of those games. Wouldn't you say, Devin?
Underwhelming for sure. I think the Yankees definitely beat themselves in that. As a big Yankees fan up here in New York, I think they could have won Game 1 if their pitching just held it together later in the game. And then Game 5, they definitely should have came away with that one if it wasn't for the 5th inning, disaster.
Yeah, the 5th inning meltdown where the Dodgers overcame a 5-run deficit with, 2 errors in the inning? 3 errors?
3 errors, yep. Aaron Judge first had the drop, and then they had the error between Volpe throwing it to third base to Jazz Chisholm, and he just pretty much missed it. And then the disaster between Anthony Rizzo and Garrett Cole over at first base that ultimately helped the Dodgers tie it back up. It was over from there. They lost the momentum and pretty much the series.
That's the same play that they completed in the first inning where Rizzo actually covered first, and Cole made a little bit more of an effort to cover. But either way, the Dodgers overcame 5 runs in the 5th. That's actually the largest comeback in a World Series clinching game. 5 unearned runs in the 5th inning. Teams had trailed a World Series game by 5+ 234 times in the history of the World Series. And LA became the 7th team to win in that time period. So, yeah, that's What was your feeling in Game 5? Like from start to finish?
So in Game 5, I was feeling all sorts of love for the Yankees, especially when Aaron Judge started hot, hitting that 2-run home run, and then a couple innings later, Giancarlo hit the home run to make it 5-0. I was feeling ecstatic. Garrett Cole was pitching the best game that he's pitched so far with a no-hitter going into the 5th, and yeah, going into the 5th.
Kind of went downhill from there, huh?
Oh, I was so happy. I was planning my Friday already, planning the Game 6 activities. I was popping bottles. I was having a good day, and then, oh boy.
Yeah, you had that feeling you're gonna live to fight another day, right?
I truly did.
Freddie Freeman wins the World Series MVP, tied the World Series record for most RBIs in a single series, set the record for most consecutive World Series games with a home run with 6. That's from 2021's World Series to this year's World Series. Game 5 and 6 in 2021 and games 1 through 4 this year. Another fun stat I thought was worth noting. Walker Buehler now has a .47 ERA with 2 wins, 1 save, 24 strikeouts in 19 innings pitched in the World Series, but cannot qualify for all-time records because he does not have the allotted amount of innings to qualify. He is 1 inning off from qualifying. So that is the World Series for us. Let's hop into college football.
Yeah, let's do it.
College football. As we do every week, college football rankings. Let's go with the top 10 here, huh? Oregon, number 1. They're sitting at 9-0. Georgia, number 2, 7-1. Ohio State at 3. They're also 7-1. Miami, sitting at 4 at 9-0. Texas, sitting at 5 at 7-1. Penn State at 6. Tennessee at 7, both at 7-1. Indiana at 8 at 9-0. BYU at 9 at 8-0, and Notre Dame sits at 10 at 7-1. So what do we think about that? Any
Not for me.
takers? We like it. We like it.
I like it, honestly. I wish you'd have went all the way to 53 so we know where Syracuse lands, but you know, we can stop at 10. That's fine. No, I'm really happy with the rankings so far. Oregon has proved that they're probably the best team alive out there. Miami's looking really good, but they haven't faced a big team like Texas yet, so I like them sitting at 4. The ACC just hasn't had the competition that the rest of the division or conferences had. So, yeah, I'm comfortable with these top 10 rankings.
I'm honestly shocked Miami moved up to 4. I thought they'd stay at 5, or I think they were 6 last week. I figured they'd sit still because they had trouble with Duke, but that the fourth quarter they kind of turned it up and smoked them. But they haven't played a ranked team all season, which is quite odd because usually at this point they've played Clemson, and it's a different feel as a Miami fan. But hopefully we stay put, make that playoff push.
I hope they stay undefeated all the way until November 30th. And then lose in the JMA Dome to Syracuse. It gives Syracuse that last push to get in the playoffs. I know, I'm a hometown guy, but...
Wait, they renamed the Dome?
Yeah, over the summer. It's now the JMA Dome.
It's no longer the Carrier Dome?
No, sir.
No. Well, NFL is up next on our slate.
Yeah, let's talk about that trade deadline first.
All right. What about it? What do we want to talk about?
It's almost here.
It's tomorrow.
At the time of this filming, it's right before Monday Night Football for our fans' reference. And so the deadline is coming, and so that's pretty big news, even though it's been kind of a quiet trading season time.
Yeah, other than Devontae, we haven't really had much. All we've had is rumors and talks.
And Amari Cooper.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. At this time of recording, the Chiefs are still undefeated, but they went out there and got trades, like they just got Joshua Uche from the Patriots, and they also went and got DeAndre Hopkins from the Titans. The Chiefs are still out there making moves. Do you think that the Chiefs are poised to make a three-peat?
I think the Chiefs are lucky to be 7-0 right now.
They will recover from anything and everything.
Even a sprained ankle mid-game will recover.
It doesn't matter. Like he could have a broken leg, and they would still take it.
Do you think, honestly, is that what it's really going to take to stop the Chiefs at this point? Something to happen? Knock on wood. I don't wish that upon anyone. But
are you saying the league should break Mahomes' leg?
Wait, what?
Yeah, is that not saying they should? Are you saying is that realistically what it's going to take?
Or until he ages out of the NFL, one or the other.
I mean, I can't put up with it anymore.
You can and you will, because we did with Brady for half
I had to deal with Brady my entire childhood and some of my adult life.
Yep.
And I didn't get a break. It went right into Mahomes. I can't handle it.
It's Brady around.
I don't want to deal with this anymore. I don't know. I don't think D-Hop is going to be that much of a freaking upgrade for him.
It really doesn't matter. He could have a skeleton crew. He could have us out there, and he would still win.
Actually, he has more interceptions than touchdowns this year.
Doesn't matter. Clearly, because they're undefeated. So it don't matter what they do. Now, I like Baker Mayfield. I said I was a stand for him in an article last year, and I stand by that. And so, if he does it, I'll be elated. But, at this point, anybody can do it, and it's going to be perfect. And if Baker Mayfield does it, I would be so happy.
You know something? Devyn had to deal with it more than we had, to be honest. He's gotten it twice from Mahomes.
Yeah.
And pretty much every time he's played Mahomes.
Yeah, not only twice, because every regular season game as well, the 49ers get spanked by the Chiefs. So
yeah, you and everyone else. But I agree, you do get it more.
It's not fun anymore.
It's
No,
never.
I'm just
It hasn't been fun for how
I
many?
don't want to play anymore.
I'll
Yeah.
take my ball and go home.
You're cheating. I'm done.
Yeah, ref ball.
Oh, absolutely not. I hope that my ultimate dream is for the Niners to get back and be the team to stop them. But
I would totally be
realistically,
there for that.
It's a lot of
I'd be on the
injuries
edge
that
of my
will come there.
couch chewing all my fingernails off the whole time. But
You guys got to deal with injury problems too. You got Debo who can't stay healthy. McCaffrey can't stay
I
healthy.
mean, to be fair, he had pneumonia, and they had him out there playing with pneumonia. That really upset me because he said that he didn't want to play. Like, he was pretty communicative about that. And they had to put a fan on him because he was fever sweating. And then, like, they had to give him oxygen because he was having trouble breathing. And they were like, get on out there, bud. Like,
well, they said he was going to play. They didn't want to get in a whole McCaffrey situation like week 1 again. So,
where they said McCaffrey's going to play and then Mason ended up playing.
They did say that he got sick like day of, which with pneumonia it can sneak up on you, and you can have it without knowing for a little while, especially, I mean, certain kinds. So like, I won't call that into question, but if the man has pneumonia, the man has pneumonia. Like, they're literally making a dead man walk, and then they had him running again, but like pneumonia doesn't heal that. Like, it's still going to be up in his lungs. Like, the expectation is ridiculous for that. So,
yeah, absolutely,
yeah. That upset me a lot. Like, this man is dying, and y'all gonna put him out there like that.
Yeah. I mean, Ayuk's out for the year, and was he even on the team this year? I mean, he was non-existent for most of the season.
After all that, his name sometimes.
After all that contract debate and drama, he settles for the same contract, and he's just non-existent.
Speaking of non-existent people, we could launch into Dennis Allen, which I think is hilarious.
Oh yeah, being fired today.
Yeah.
After 7 straight losses, after starting 2-0.
Like, it's early, right? This year they're just shoveling people out the door, whether it's...
Well, we're at the midway point, just over the midway point of the season, and he's our first firing, so... Oh, actually, Salah was.
Yeah,
but
it's our second one.
Dennis Allen gone after 7 straight losses in New Orleans, and then that triggered a whole Derek Carr, Michael Thomas feud that we never saw coming, and...
Michael Thomas is feuding with everyone.
Seriously, like he has got a lot of bitterness in him.
Yeah, well, he threw a brick at that poor man who is a Saints fan. As a Saints fan by proxy who lived in New Orleans, I know these things. This guy was out there, like the construction guy, trying to fix the house across the street, and he throws a brick at him, and he's like, I'm a Saints fan, I love you, why would you do this to me? I'm just trying to work, and like, he just lost his mind at him. It was horrible. So that's how that man tells it, and I believe him. I'm like, oh, come on. And so, like, ever since, like, that just shows a lack of emotional regulation that's consistent with what we're seeing.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere.
This was only a matter of time because he showed, like, if you can't control your locker room, like, and everybody's on the other, like, they're not backing up their coach, like, that just shows that you've already lost it, and there's just no reason to even, like, it's donezo at that point, I think.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, like, when they even brought him back, I was shocked because I was like, I thought we dealt with this already. You gotta be the alpha in the group, okay? Like, and that could look a lot of different ways. But he lost his locker room, so about that time.
It was warranted, I suppose. I mean, 7 straight losses after starting out 2-0.
It's just always harsh when it's mid-season, especially for Salah because it was quite early on. But we're a little further in. But even then, it was like, oh, that's rough.
He went 18-25 in 3 seasons as a head coach in New Orleans.
They shouldn't have even brought him back in the first place. Like, this is what the off season is for.
And before then, he was in with the Raiders, and he had a losing record there too. Was fired in 2014, I believe. But next week, special teams coordinator Darren Rizzi, I think his name is, he's going to be the interim head coach for the remainder of the season. And the Saints continue to fall down the standings in the NFC South. So
I kind of agree with the firing. I don't know
agree
if
with
that's
the
a hot
firing.
take about it, but he's been there for what's it, 3.5, 4 years now.
3.5, yeah.
Yeah, but if you had
this
fired him in the
team,
off season, you could have gotten like somebody who's available, who's like
yeah, but
and planned it.
they were trying to have a little bit of faith in him, so they got him they built him the best possible team around him that they think they can do, like that they truthfully thought that they could. They've put the most money that they have in the past 4 years into a team. They have the best talent that they have, and they've lost 7 straight games.
I don't think they
Someone's
should
got
have
to be
even given him
accountable.
a chance. It should have been it when he lost the locker room. That's it. And then they could have actually gotten somebody decent instead of Rizzy.
Right. We talked about last year. We talked about last year when Winston changed the play. He pretty much got the play and was like, "No, we're not doing that." And
yeah,
we all knew it was gonna be a problem.
And I was all for it because I like Jameis. I agreed with his decision, and I saw that Dennis Allen was being. So it was like, well, that's obvious.
Yeah.
Look, if you don't have your big man pants on, then like you're gonna get ran over.
That's right.
Like
Caleb and I were standing on that hill. Like you gotta step up and like take back your locker room. He never did, and now he's 18-25, fired. Yeah, 7 straight losses. You done? Yeah. But let's get on some injuries here.
Let's do it. So I have the top. Devontae Adams scared us all on Thursday with that concussion, potential concussion, but he came back out, so that's good for him, not his brain. Drake London had the hip injury, and so he's a big deal for the Falcons, of course, like that kind of hidden talent that we all need. That isn't like one of the popular, I would say, wide receivers, but does a lot for the team. So it's not going to be a long-term issue, thankfully. Dak Prescott, this was funny when he got the hamstring and the hand because and I saw him kind of shaking his paw, but like I was like, like that kind of happens. But it's just kind of ironic because, they did pay him $1 billion and they can't win for anything, and then he's already out. Like it I don't have a personal problem with Dak Prescott, so it's not anywhere as strong as how I felt about Deshaun Watson. But I think this is more irony. That's karma. This is irony, I would say.
Dak was actually caught on camera yesterday saying to one of his teammates, "We suck."
Yeah.
What? You're part of the problem, dude. You're part of the problem.
Well, I just think it's funny that Aaron Rodgers is always saying, like, he told Garrett Wilson to keep a smile on his face, but I saw very few smiles. I'm just going to say that from him.
Aaron never smiles.
Yeah, like, how are you going to tell other people to smile? It's like that guy at the grocery store, because women have to smile all the time, so they're like, smile, honey. It's like, that's how it felt with Garrett Wilson, but I'm like, why don't you?
Who were you talking to?
No, I'm saying like when women go out in public, a lot of the times, if you're not smiling, especially older men will tell you like, "Why aren't you smiling?"
There we go. Yep, the older man thing was the problem. Yep. Okay, got you now.
Yeah, and so I think like that was what it felt like a little bit with Garrett Wilson. I'm like, why you doing that to Garrett? But I just found it funny because I didn't even see a smile on his face. But anyway, whatever. Monkey do, not monkey see, or whatever. Monkey, yeah.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Yep. CeeDee Lamb has a shoulder issue.
Was a shoulder? Okay.
Yeah. He's getting an MRI.
Real quick on the Dak thing. Who's the starting quarterback now?
Cooper Rush.
Dak's also getting MRI done today. He got
yes. It's reportedly a right AC joint injury.
Okay.
Yeah. Chris Olave scared the hell out of everyone when he got stretchered off the field and had to go to the hospital. And it's the second concussion of the season. Some people are saying, bruh, it's they're adding up. But anyway, like absolutely terrifying, of course.
And Chris Olave's brother is tweeting at Derek Carr saying that it was intentional.
It's so
That
like
he lit
Michael
him into the
Thomas.
throw.
Michael Thomas did the same thing.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm sure Carr can pray all the negative feelings away, so he'll be fine.
Thomas called him Panic Boy.
I like that. AJ Brown has a knee issue.
Oh boy.
But it's not too serious. That's good. And then Quandre Diggs with the foot. It could be a season-ending Liz Frank injury. No, it
yes,
is a Liz
it is.
Frank.
As
Yep,
is
so.
Lloyd Cushenberry, torn Achilles, Tennessee missing both of them for this season.
Yeah, and that's not a team that can afford to miss much of
At
any
all.
kind of talent.
My goodness, they're already lacking talent at the QB position, but like now they're missing on defense too.
Yeah, that's a rough one. All right, so I guess we can move on to the games. Let me see here.
CMC's back in practice too, by the way.
Yes.
21-day practice when it was opened.
For about 3 weeks until his Achilles goes out again. But the Texans and the Jets, like Stroud is struggling, which is upsetting to the Strouds. He had 37.5% completion last week.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a statistical nightmare.
He was sacked 7 times that game, wasn't he?
Something like that. It was definitely in the upper. And he said that he wasn't feeling that good ahead of the game, like injury wise, I guess. Like I probably just regular wear and tear. And so one of the sportscasters said in a post interview or pre-interview that they had with him that he was kind of struggling, and you could definitely see that. And then like all those sacks was not going to help
at all. He just looks like he's been off all season.
Yeah. Joe Mixon had 100 yards rushing for the 5th time in 6 games.
Good for him.
Yeah, and it's the first time that Devontae Adams got a touchdown pass with Aaron Rodgers, so that was good.
That snapped a 3-game skid for the Jets, right?
Yeah.
Good for them. Good for them.
Indeed.
Really making that AFC East a little less scary, I suppose.
Yeah. You know, I just assumed that it was that when New Orleans was on Sunday morning when they were going against the Panthers, that it was a for sure win, because every time you play the Panthers, it's a for sure win, almost exclusively, right? And yet they proved me wrong in that time. I wasn't expecting that. Now, granted, Chuba Hubbard is out there, and Chuba.
It's Chuba. It's Chuba.
Oh, I know, Chuba.
Chuba.
Yeah. He did the 16-yard touchdown run, blah, blah, blah. It was rough. Carr was back, but it certainly didn't do much to improve anything at all, ever.
Wow.
Yeah. And then of course Olave almost got murked on the field, so that was rough. I think that's a good reflection of the team as a whole. Just, distressing.
Well, that's Carr's first game back, right?
Yep.
Oh, well.
And either Hill's first or second game back.
Yeah, it's second game back for Taysom, I believe.
Yeah. And he could be a real game changer, but clearly there's something so fundamentally wrong with whatever's going on over there that no one can make it better, except for apparently Rizzy.
Yeah.
So we'll see. The special teams coordinator, I'm like, fine. Anybody's probably better at this point.
Special teams might be the only bright spot of the Saints.
That's true.
Pretty much, yeah.
The New York Giants, also Sunday morning, were back home, and they got booed off the field, so that was good. They're now 0-5 at home.
2-7 on the road, or 2
Yeah,
and
the
7 for
team's
the
been
year.
booed off the field every home game this season. And Daniel Jones threw his first touchdown pass at home since New Year's Day in 2023. So that's a depressing fucking stat if I've ever heard one.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought he went full 2 years without throwing a touchdown pass on home.
Close, but not
Wow.
quite.
Huh.
Daniels became the first rookie quarterback to start against the Giants and beat them twice in a season since at least 1950. So that's
Wow.
cool. Yeah. Terry
Jaden,
McLaurin.
he seems to be
Look,
the real deal.
yeah, like I love them. Like they're amazing. They're the team that none of us were necessarily expecting, but like Daniels is one of those like well, we don't know yet because he could be a Stroud where he struggles, which is normal. But
Sophomore
anyway,
slump.
yeah, like it could happen, but like he's super impressive, and I have like all of these really great players who are maybe a little underrated, but like
Yeah.
are really showing themselves. So
Again, I don't want to ever curse anyone with this either, but we could also see him be like RG3.
I see. Jaden, I feel like is different than RG3. Like I just feel like Jaden is completely different. You know what I mean?
I don't know. He might be. He might be.
Because we always saw RG3, he would always take the hit. Jaden doesn't look like he takes those hits. He looks like he gets down. He looks like he gets out of bounds, and he's got a stronger arm, I think, than RG3 does.
it's a different decade. We protect our quarterbacks. Well,
somewhat, yeah, we do.
in theory. Like, please don't take the hit.
Tua finally learned how to slide last week, so.
Of course, I'll bring up the fact that black quarterbacks have had to prove themselves more, and they still get paid less and fired faster for better performances. So I can see why RG3 really went out on a limb to try to make things work back when he played. But we're in a sort of revolution time right now, and so Jaden Daniels don't have to do that. Okay? So, like, amen. And we love to see it.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, so like I really thought that I was really hoping, I guess, that the Dolphins would kill the Bills, figuratively.
Oh goodness.
But
you had that vendetta hope, didn't you?
Yeah, I really did. And it was 27-30. Like it was close. The Ray Davis, the rookie for the Bills, he did a 63 yards for a touchdown, which I mean we love to see it.
It was a great play too.
Yeah, it was. That's how I mentioned it. Tyler Bass makes a 61-yard field goal, which was very impressive.
That's the Bills franchise record.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty high up on every team's record, I think.
Yeah, that's one of the longest field goals in NFL history too. And it was into the win too.
I think there's been like 62, 63, 64 maybe, but it's like right up there. Yeah, so the penalties really got the Dolphins, especially in that end. And then let me see here. Oh, I read that wrong the first time. But anyway, like rough. And it was a hope, I think, for a lot of us that they would take it because they're sacrificing their quarterback, his brain, every single week. They're like, he's like one step away from, never eating solids again. So I want to see the games actually matter.
No, this game definitely mattered for Buffalo because that win pretty much put them.
I was talking about for the Dolphins. Okay, just to clarify. Chargers versus Browns.
Oh God.
Yeah, the game was so bad that there really wasn't any.
I don't
significant takeaways.
Joe Flacco back at the starting quarterback position for
Chargers
the Colts?
And Browns.
Oh, Browns.
Yeah. That was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there. But no, like the game, like there's only a handful of games where I was just like, wow, nothing interesting happened. and that was one of them. So unless you have some other evidence of something worthwhile, trash.
Jameis did not look good.
Yeah, which made me kind of
3
sad
picks.
because I like Jameis, as we know, and it was hopeful after last week, but
I support the Chargers. Go
You would.
Chargers. I like Jim Harbaugh. He brought my team back to prominence, and
For how
Justin
long?
Herbert looks like he could be a really good quarterback too. He's just needs the right people around him.
Oh yeah, Herbert's
Who
always been
knows?
he's always been good. He just didn't have a supporting cast with.
yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. I don't have a problem with Herbert. It's just watching him flounder is hard to watch. It's just watching Herbert struggle. That's rough. Patriots, Titans. The Titans actually won one. Granted, it was depressingly close, but they did get one, so we're celebrating with Jay on the inside.
Yeah,
Drake-
Mitch Trubisky.
Oh god.
Trubisky?
Unless he got the
Mason
win.
Wasn't Rudolph the one getting the win in Tennessee? We were talking about Tennessee, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was Rudolph. The red-nosed
I got my backup quarterbacks mixed up. All right, I'm 0 for 2. I'm 0 for 2.
I forgot Trubisky was even in the league. Where is he now? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Tennessee got the win. Good job.
Yeah, he's somewhere. Drake May looked awful. All the interceptions.
It's not his fault.
Well, there's intersections on both sides of the ball, but he did a lot of running. He got, I think, like 100 yards almost or something like that. Like they really had May running.
Yeah,
95 yards. Yeah,
you'll have that when your offensive line's bad.
it definitely is not a good sign. Let me see here. There's another, the fumble. And then the final interception that definitely like handed the Titans the win.
Double coverage, deep downfield. Took a prayer on when he didn't have to. So he's young, he'll learn.
Yeah, and he doesn't...
Yes, I apologize. I'm completely wrong. You're right. I was Googling it right now. But Mitch Trubisky's the backup for the Bills. So
it's hard to remember where he goes, but I thought it was the Bills, yeah.
Oh, no kidding.
Mm-hmm.
The Cowboys and the Falcons. The Falcons are impressive, ish. They're doing more. They're more exciting than I would have thought. Going into the season.
Yeah.
So
the addition of Kirk Cousins, man, it's just.
Yeah, it actually worked.
Kmart Kirk is really pulling together for him.
Okay. Yeah, is McCarthy going to end up in a Dennis Allen situation? Maybe.
Jerry says no. They're committed to the season, they said.
Bijan Robinson did 86 yards. I like Bijan a lot. Like, he's awesome. Yeah, so, like, just, yay Falcons is my takeaway from that one. Bengals Raiders, in my opinion, Bengals are too excited about beating someone like the Raiders, in my opinion. I mean, like, cool.
Can't be worse than what was his name? Who's the coach for the Eagles again?
Nick Sirianni.
Yeah, it can't be any worse than Sirianni taunting Colts fans after winning 17-16.
Look, he's a fiery guy, and he talks about how he's emotional. I don't mind it.
Either way, it wasn't ever a game. Cincinnati blew him out.
Yeah. Mike Gesicki. Yeah, and I went to school with a Gesicki too. Look at that.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Maybe it's his cousin.
Maybe it's his brother.
Could be. But I came from the middle of nowhere, so probably not. Yeah, so he was a big part of the game. It's really like, congrats, you lost to the Raiders. Don't be excited about that. Ravens and Broncos. I think maybe some people might have been a little bit surprised by like just how badly they lost, but like not that they lost. I think that was another game that was just rather devoid of any signs of life.
Another game that got away from the team that was keeping it close for a little bit. It just got away from them real quick.
For a second, and the Ravens are doing what they do, and rather decently recently.
Yeah, they beat up on bad teams.
Bears and Cardinals. Okay, this one was wild to me. Um, so especially the last play when the safety specifically, maybe not, yeah, that one was kind of depressing. So what happened was Bears running back DeAndre Swift got a chop block, which is a no-go in the modern day football era, in case they were wondering.
No bueno.
The foul occurred in the end zone, so it was a safety. And also, a fun fact in case you were wondering why it was 29-9, which is kind of an unusual score, is because of a chop block safety. So I think that really kind of explains that game well. Kind of like in a little tiny.
It's a lot better than the last play 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
the guy dancing in the corner taunting the fans.
Oh,
is the chop block ever better though?
I mean, you don't look like a clown.
It didn't affect the game, really.
It kind of affected the game, but at the same point,
it was embarrassing because it's safety, and for some reason, not for some reason, it's pretty obvious, but safeties really sting, and then to have it be because of a chop block, that's rough.
Oh yeah, safeties really do sting. Like you gave up points.
It's humiliating, right?
Then you kick the ball away. I mean,
safeties are rough.
That corner embarrassed the Bears and Bears fans so bad that Caleb had to leave the country.
Sure, that's the reason. Yeah.
Even Aaron Rodgers said he didn't own them that week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jaguars, Eagles.
Oh God. What is it with the
Eagles? That was a fun game.
The Eagles like to blow leads big time. Like they should have walked away with that game.
Yeah.
They're up 22-0 in the third quarter.
It seemed like a pretty obvious oh, I wonder who's going to win, but it was far closer than it ever should be.
Saquon's reverse hurdle was pretty cool.
Yes. Thank God for Saquon.
Saquon Barkley carrying the load from a fantasy team this week.
Literally, he's carrying the load for their team too. Their entire team.
Does Jalen Hurts look not good? Like, does he look like he's taking a step back, or is it just me?
Yeah. It certainly felt like any successes he did have not came into this season. In the past, any growth, we have seen a regression.
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah. It's rough.
It is. It's very rough. And
I kind of like Jalen, and I kind of think Nick Sirianni is great. So I live in New Jersey, and apparently South Jersey is basically Philadelphia, and they're a little unique down there. So
kind of, yeah.
So I try to pretend like that part of the state's just so I just kind of assume they're all together, So kind of a unique group. But I mean I think they're cool. I like that Nick Sirianni yells at fans. I would like to see that more often from more fans and head coaches. I think it's great. So I don't wish this on them, but
they're regressing. But at the same time, Saquon's carrying the load.
Yeah. Oh no, literally. Yeah. He's like an Alvin Kamara kind of.
Why the Giants got rid of him or let him go, the world will never know.
Oh, he's not going to get what he thinks he's going to get in free agency.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's just dumb. But
well, we talked about the Rams and the Seahawks quite a bit. Ryan had audacity to text me good game afterwards. Like that wasn't a shit show. That was
It was a
distressing.
good game.
It was not a good game. It was maybe a close game, but it was a disaster game. And like the exact opposite of good is the name that I would give that game.
Okay, I hear what you're saying, but like when I said that, it was, hey, good game, Julie.
Yeah, and I was like, fuck you. So that's how that went.
That was round one. We still have another round to go.
Do we have another one?
Yeah, we do.
I like Puka.
That was weak. That was a weak ejection.
I love Puka. He's a cutie, and his parents did really well with raising all of their sons to be outstanding individuals, which is very rare for people to say. They're all cute as all get out, like just the sweetest family, right? And so to see him like little baby punch, like it wasn't even a punch. Like it was a punch, but it wasn't. It wasn't like a if he landed it, or if he like really hurt that, like if he broke his nose, if there was some blood or something, maybe. But I've seen bigger, better punches get no consequences this season. And that was like just a little bit of a temper thing. Like it would have felt like a tiny thunk on that man's helmet. Like because he was going from the side, like it wasn't even a hard impact. In fact, it looks like he doesn't swing very many punches because if he did, he would know that you never go from the side like that. If you want to get the full power of the punch. Okay. So like I think he was just mad, which is understandable, but this like he was so distraught. I felt awful. I felt so bad because he's always so sweet and always like smiling, and you could see he was devastated. And because he plays every game with the thought process that, his dad is watching from heaven, I know he was probably thinking about this kind of thing. I think he was having like an existential crisis on the sidelines, and I was like, none of that needed to happen.
Yeah, it was a weak ejection. Probably should. It was definitely a penalty. But to eject him on the first unsportsmanlike conduct is
for a baby punch.
Is dumb. It's not like he had a reputation for it.
Yeah, and like again, we've seen more get less all season.
I don't know.
It was really upsetting. A lot of the calls were upsetting to me. There's a lot of bullshit calls and then calls ignored on both sides.
There's a lot of stuff. A lot of the stuff that happened too was kind of stupid. Like, why are you doing that? Type of thing.
Yeah, there was incompetence on every level.
Yeah,
but the refs were playing some ref ball for both teams too.
Oh God, yeah. Seattle's center really needs to settle his ass down. That's 4 snaps in 2 weeks?
That's something we can firmly agree on. Was it 4? I thought it was 5. I know he's gone above his head twice, and I think he's thrown it on the ground so low that Gino has to like jump to the floor to try to catch it. Like he jumps to the ground literally and tries to. It looks like, So he either has to jump really, really high, or he has to go to the flow like in 2 seconds, or he gets his foot stepped on and ends up in the ball at the 1 yard line. I'm like, well, look, have you ever? If you get your foot stepped on by a big boy, you're gonna feel that.
Absolutely. Gino now. He's in a whirlwind of shit in Seattle. He was sacked 7 times yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he threw 3 interceptions, 2 of which I have no idea who he was throwing to. And one of them was a 103-yard pick six that flipped the game upside down.
Yeah, one of them, but your inability to convert the others was really remarkable. Yeah. Like, how can they pick the ball that many times with no consequences? So, like, both teams sucked. It was who sucked the least at the very end. It was abysmal. Okay, abysmal.
That was a very nice pass play to end the game. That was a dot by Stafford, and Stafford is still him.
I did appreciate the passes there at the very end. And Jackson Smith and Jigba was a bright light, and Tyler Lockett did that like 60-yard pass or something. But I love Tyler Lockett. Like Tyler Lockett's the man. So like obviously, so that was like there's a couple glimmers, but mostly it was just disaster. And am I laughing a little bit on the inside because the snaky upper the front office for the Seahawks are feeling the consequences of their actions in the off season? Am I enjoying that? Yes. Yes, I am. I probably enjoy that more than Chiefs losing from Baker Mayfield.
So Devyn, as a neutral party
I don't know if
yesterday,
neutral is the right word, but
well, he was neutral because he was sitting in place. His team didn't play yesterday. As they're on a bye. How are you feeling about this game?
So, in my fantasy league that I'm in, not with you, Ryan, but my one that I'm currently undefeated in against my father and a couple of his friends. My two receivers yesterday were Cooper Kupp and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
nice.
So
wow.
When Nakua threw a punch, I was quite happy to know that Cooper Kupp was going to get most of the load from Stafford.
That is true.
So needless to say, I think my opponent has a kicker tonight, but I'm up by like 28, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be undefeated again.
Kicker.
Yeah, he has I don't know, the Chiefs kicker, I believe.
Oh, it's Bucker. Oh, he's got Bucker.
Oh,
okay.
God.
Yeah.
It's like a punishment to me. What did I do wrong?
Yeah. I tell you what, I was getting sick of seeing JSN yesterday. He smoked us wicked, especially in the second half.
And he's so
I just want to give.
It's good to see.
I want to give one special shout out really quick to my Uncle Ralph. My Uncle Ralph, because in 5th grade, when he taught this person in 5th grade, and he ended up getting the game-winning catch last night, Allen Robinson. So shout out Uncle Ralph for teaching him to be a good receiver. He didn't teach him how to catch or anything, but he taught him 5th grade.
Wait, you mean DeMarcus?
Yeah, whatever, Robinson.
Oh, yeah.
The guy that had the catch.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's cool.
That is cool. He taught him how to do, I don't know. I was homeschooled in 5th grade. Whatever you learn.
Bro, let's talk about Cam Kitchens for though. Cam Kitchens, no interceptions coming in tonight and to last night. Came away with 2. And a pick 6 on his first ever interception.
Hey, y'all were dropping that ball plenty of times too.
Oh my God.
Like it felt like when it didn't feel like it was like, oh, they dropped the ball, the other team got it. Oh, they dropped the ball, the other team got. I'm like, this is worse than like I see like the middle schoolers playing. It felt like at the it felt like it was that again. Or no, I wouldn't even disrespect the middle schoolers with that.
Darius Williams had a game-sealing interception and dropped it.
Yep.
Dropped it. I was like, dude, come on.
Not just interceptions, like just no quarterback could keep it in their paws ever.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, we lost it. Oh, the other team got it. Oh, okay. Well, then next time around, okay. Well, like Jesus, it was an embarrassing game.
Well, it made for good entertainment towards the end, though. So
no. The Lions and the Packers. This was wonderful. The Lions are like, the target. This is what my cousin's husband said. He said they look like the target of the NFL because like the Chiefs looked really fancy last year, and then they look like the target. So a slightly upscale, but still, a little closer to Walmart. So like, than the Chiefs. So like I kind of agree. They look a little rough around the edges, but they.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and
Did Goff have an incompletion last night?
Dude, he's been so efficient lately with his passing; it's ridiculous.
Like I remember seeing like in the 4th quarter at one point, he didn't have an incompletion. So I don't know if he ended up having one, but
like last week they played Tennessee and they smoked him by 38, and he completed 12 of 15 for 85 yards and 3 touchdowns.
That game, he didn't need to pass.
No, and I think there was a game earlier in the season where he completed all of his passes and had like 4 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
I forget who it was against, but he's been so efficient.
The Packers had like 1,000 penalties, which didn't help them. There are a lot of drops and fumbles, which the Rams and Seahawks can identify with, and then the pick 6 from Kirby Joseph. That that one kind of sealed the deal for them. Because the Lions are good enough, unlike our teams, that when you get the ball after a pick, they do stuff with it. So like
the Lions have the best freaking offensive line in the league.
Yeah. They're beasts. So I'd love to see the Packers fail and the Cheeseheads cry. So that was awesome. Colts Vikings. So
Joe Flacco started for the first time in a
started for the first time since the playoff game last year, right?
No, he got to start a couple weeks ago when AR was hurt, but
yeah, but
AR
like, with
was
him
too
healthy,
tired. So
that really cooked my grits, okay? Because I'm writing an article about Joe Flacco as a belated Italian American Heritage Month article.
Did you just say cooked your grits?
Yes, I did. And
that's a new one.
Yeah, and so like sorry, that distracted me. Man, I lost
your Joe Flacco article.
Yes. I'm just gonna say also it was ironic because Vinny Testaverde, the quarterback, y'all may have known him because he played for 22 seasons. He was a journeyman quarterback. And then as soon as he left the NFL, Joe Flacco came in. He's also Italian American, a journeyman at the end of his career. And it's like a different version of Mahomes and Brady. You know, just a different side of the coin. Because as soon as and Flacco's in on his 16th season. So but I just made the argument that as millennials we understand having to take care of the soft and get the job done. And that's something Flacco can identify with. I can't even fathom it, frankly. And to say that you're too tired. I mean, we have quarterbacks like Archie Manning played his final game in college football with a broken arm. We've had people out there with broken necks still playing. We've had people with broken arms and legs, and you're telling me that he's a little winded?
Don't even get me started on Anthony Richardson.
And like maybe he meant something else, and that he communicated it wrong. But it just really like I'm actually advocating for player safety, unlike the NFL. And so like I take it seriously. But that's soft. Like that's so soft. It's like butter that you left out over a day, and I can't get behind that.
Well, it's easier spreading your toast.
Yeah, if he's up to it. So like I love Flacco. Everybody does. He's 39. He got off his couch last year, like the rest of us, where we watch our games from, and he went out there with his hip injuries. We can all relate to that too, most of us. And he just like pops out there, and he's like the man. Okay, because that means in our 30s we can do that too. I'm gonna pretend like
sure.
Yeah. So like to see him out there, I like it. It was really awkward though, like because he doesn't say anything the whole game. Like when you see him on the sidelines, he's just sitting there stiff as a board.
He's probably contemplating taking a nap.
Yes. And like people are around him, but it just looks like really awkward the entire time.
I seen a meme online that was a picture of him looking like he was asleep on the bench. It was like might as well get a nap. It's the only time he's away from all his kids.
Yeah, 5, right.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and like there's all this stuff going on. People are coming and going, and he's just sitting there staring. I'm like, yeah, that's weird. It feels weird to have multiple people coming in and out of your space, teammates, and he's just like still staring them, like blink or say something, acknowledge that person came into your sphere. I don't know. It was uncomfortable, but Flacco can do whatever he wants.
I got a question though. What is it with the Colts getting broken down quarterbacks? Matt Ryan, Wentz, Flacco,
Phillip
Rivers, all in like consecutive years.
Yeah. But Sam Darnold got 3 touchdowns, so that's nice.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Bouncing back from that face mask.
Don't even get me started on that. That's like the Lions of the. Remember last year when the Lions got that unfair call and everybody was yelling at the refs about how bad they were? That was this call.
Oh, you mean the ineligible man downfield?
Yeah. That was this year's call.
Yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, the Buccaneers and the Chiefs. Who do you think is going to win that one, y'all?
Yeah. Mahomes with all of his weapons versus Baker Mayfield with none of his weapons.
Oh my God, they have another 9:30 game, but it's with the Giants and the Panthers, which no one should wake up for unless you have insomnia or you are already awake for a better reason.
Wait, we're talking about like
Sunday
in London or in Munich?
In Munich. I just want to go out and on behalf of us here and on the NFL, I am sorry, Germany, that this is the game we're sending you.
Honestly.
The Giants and the Panthers.
We should really do our international fans a solid, not inflict them with that kind of suffering, you know? Because, like, we want to keep them.
Exactly.
What are we doing here? I mean, Daniel Jones versus
They don't want to get booed out of that. They're getting tired of getting booed out in America. They're like,
are the Giants a home team here? Like, are the Giants gonna be the home team? Because I have a feeling they're gonna get booed out of Munich.
Stop it! That would be hilarious if they got booed out at two countries. Like, that's when you just like stop showing up to games.
Yeah.
The Giants better be the home team because it might be the only way they're getting a home win this year.
Stop it! So. Yeah, they haven't gotten.
Oh dear goodness! Are we picking that game? Because like I don't want to.
No.
We can leave it off the schedule, Dev. It's up to you, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna live stream watch that game.
I might watch that later.
A special Sunday tailgate update report. Live stream being the game.
Okay, because I'm not waking up for that. I don't wake up for much, and definitely not that. And the Bengals and the Ravens. Who do you think is going to Thursday night football? Who do we think is going to win that one?
Ravens.
Yeah,
Ravens as well.
I don't like what Cincinnati's doing right now.
The Lions and the Texans for next Sunday night. That'll be interesting if
Lions
Stroud actually shows up.
I got Lions all the way. I think I got Lions by 10.
And then the Dolphins and the Rams for Monday Night Football, which I will just say I'm glad we're getting a slightly higher caliber of primetime games because God have we gone through it this season.
You said Dolphins at Rams or Rams at Dolphins?
I don't know.
I think we're at SoFi. I think we're at SoFi, right?
It's at the Rams.
Oh boy. Monday Night Football. Dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Let's go Dolphins.
Go Rams. Go Rams.
Yeah. To make those New Orleans losses count.
You know what? I feel like it'll be a really close game because I don't trust our pass defense at all.
God, well, if
especially to cover Tyreek. Cheetah versus young guys, I don't like it.
My dad said to just throw the entire NFC West out the window because one of his closest friends is a 49ers fan, and he's ashamed of their performances. The Seahawks are a goddamn shame. The fact that the Cardinals are leading is...
yeah, that's embarrassing because the Cardinals really aren't that good.
Yeah, that keeps me up at night. Along with who's the Zodiac Killer. So that...
Wait,
he's just like throw the entire thing away, and I'm like, I might disagree with you.
Get rid of it all.
Yeah.
Mix it up again. We need a division realignment.
Indeed, because usually we're sort of competitive, but this year is just sad.
Go back to the old divisions.
And now
bring the Falcons back in our division.
Bring the Falcons and Saints back, and the Panthers. Bring them back. And
now we're the losers of the conference, and we're heading into a bye week on a terrible note, so that's great.
Are you guys lose to the bye week too, or?
Well, if Metcalf keeps out knee injured, then yes. All right, so I think that's all we have for today.
Yeah, well, that's everything.
Yeah, and Devyn, thank you so much for coming. We love to have you.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yes.
I love being on, so thank you guys for inviting me.
Anytime.
Do you want to be a mainstay for the next 3 weeks?
Yeah, we're gonna force Devyn to keep coming back.
You can fill in for 3 weeks.
If he looks uncomfortable and he's in the same room with Ryan, don't ask questions. No, he did not take him hostage. And we're really close to 1,000 subscribers, y'all. So hit subscribe, hit a like, and hit that notification bell. Ding.
Yeah.
All right, and we will see y'all next week.